talking to Noreen. And
Yeah,
Noreen, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
those I started off 2.5 years ago opening up my retreat center. And that came
Hmm.
from a seed, which was 16 years ago. That was one of my
Wow.
dreams. That when I arrived here at Epona, I walked in the gate and I thought, this is going to be my sanctuary for healing me. And I hope in time that actually I will be able to heal other people. But I didn't know anything about nothing. All I knew was to do healing with my family and my friends. But the idea was always there. And that has always been on the back of my head for everything I've done in my life here at Epona. That intention was always to do the healing on myself and my family, but also to have the confidence to help and heal other people. But I had no
Hmm.
notion. I could see the vision, but I actually, inside of me, I was like zero confidence.
Hmm.
And I had to build that up over the 16 years.
Hmm.
And that's my journey of where I started, really. It was here, my two children, my 4-year-old and well, actually, yeah, I had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old at the time when we moved here. My
Hmm.
5-year-old was very, very sick before that, and that's why we arrived to the countryside. We needed to move out of
Hmm.
the city because he couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe either. Um,
Hmm.
and he got very, very sick. He had high allergies to clay and things like that. So, um, and I needed the fresh air, to breathe in the countryside. And when we were in hospital with my son up in Dublin, I remember speaking to my husband, going, "I need to move to the countryside. I need to breathe. I'm I'm stifled. I'm stuck. I'm stuck." And I was depressed. I just had my son was the youngest son was one. Yeah. So we arrived here.
Yeah.
They were very young, and I sat under trees. I have a yew tree here. I didn't even know what it was. We used to sit under it every day, my children. I put tires swinging off it so I could actually be under the tree. It's a yew
Hmm.
tree, I have found out since, and it's 1,000 years old. So I used to sit under this
Wow.
evergreen tree with my two children. So the young guy that was sick, he used to climb up the tree every day. I used to get him to climb it up. And the other one, I would put him on the tire and swing him on it. But I sat there and I didn't realize that the evergreen tree was actually healing me. It was actually the
Hmm.
energy from the tree was actually helping my emotions and helping me, because I used to sit under there, Eileen, and I used to say to myself, there must be more to life than this. Pushing my children on the tire and watching them climbing up, even though there's nothing wrong with that. But it was just where I was at that moment in time, going, for me, I felt there was a bigger purpose for me in my life, but I didn't know what it was, and I was very stuck. And that's where I did my healing here in at Epona. And
Hmm.
then I was attracted. I suppose what had happened was, when we arrived here then, the recession hit in 2008. And
Hmm.
here we had this beautiful house, beautiful land, and going, can't pay for it. Um,
Hmm.
so that got us thinking, going, oh my God, just like that, could be all taken away from my dream, could be taken away. So I went to my best friend and I asked her for help. I asked her for the best finance guy she could find to help us out. So he took away the fear from us so that we can actually start healing again, because this was like a roller coaster for us, Eileen. So we used to be on up here, yeah, everything is going really well, and then going dip down again, up and down all my life, because I
Mm.
felt I didn't deserve. I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to be up here. I always deserved to be down there. Even though the universe used to take me up, I used to always dip down because I didn't deserve. So that was a big eye opener for me, because I kept saying, I do deserve this life. I do deserve to be happy, have a simple life. But I was always driven. And so that was the healing process, where I deserved everything around us. The beauty of the trees, we never touched anything. We've hawthorns, elms, ashes. I didn't even know what these trees were. I'm outside now with my Google going, what is this tree? Oh, that's the ash. Oh, what does that do? It's strong, resilience. So I stand under there for healing, to give me that vibration of that emotion. So yeah, so I was very open to opportunities then when we were here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was open
Yeah.
to everything. I felt I could feel the universe throwing stuff at me. And I'm there going,
Mm.
oh, hold on a second, hold on a second. I need to be able to breathe, because I took everything on. But then one day I was here, and this lady came for healing. And I was just doing it with friends and, a few people around the area that kind of knew me. And I was pretty confident with it. I knew it was something, that I was really good at.
Okay.
But she came along, and she had a horse, and they had a foal which was dying. And you probably heard a story
Oh.
before, Eileen. Um, and she was coming because she was stressed, and her husband was stressed as well. So she was just coming for a little bit of healing and just kind of to de-stress her body. And I just said to her, would you not get somebody to, like me in the equine world, to actually go in and just feel the energy and see if there was something that could be done? It's worth to try, the whole lot.
Mm.
I didn't know anything about this. So she went off home, and about an hour later, Eileen, she rang me and said, would you please come? We don't know anyone. And I went,
Oh, okay.
oh, oh God. I said, the last time I was around a horse, when I was 13 years of age, where the horse ran away with me, and I never again wanted to see a horse. Right. Okay. So that was my thing, going, oh God,
Yeah.
this big mare, it's thoroughbred. Oh my God, I could be killed in 2 seconds. So I remember
Uh-huh.
going, so I set my boundaries, because I had nothing to lose, because these people knew that I knew nothing about horses, really. Um, so yeah, so I stood outside the stable door, Eileen, for 4 days with my hands up like this, connecting and just giving my
Mm.
love. And also chatting to the owner. And then the horse was watching us, the mare, and the foal was lying on the ground. And within that 4 days, I realized the connection. The connection had been lost at the beginning. And that's why the
Okay.
foal wasn't surviving. There was no love. There was nothing there. It was totally just zoom. And then
Mm.
by me chatting with the owner, relaxing his energy, the mare started relaxing, and she started trusting. So then on day 3, she actually brought the foal out. She got the foal up from the ground and brought it out to the stable door. So I still wasn't next to near the horses. There was still the door, the stable door was between us. So they're going, I'm not going in there. And so she brought the foal out to the stable door and started weaving. And then she asked me, would I
So
start weaving as well?
when you say she, do you mean the mayor or
The
your
mare,
friend?
the
The mayor,
mare.
yeah.
Oh, the mayor
Yeah.
got the
I
foal
think
up.
so.
We were outside the
Yeah.
stable door, the two of us, and we
Okay.
were like looking, going, oh my God, what's going on here? But yeah,
Okay.
so we were
So she
weaving. So
started.
I was outside the door weaving, and
Yeah.
being a horse
Yeah.
person,
Weaving is when the
oh,
horse's head is swinging back and
yeah.
over the door. Yeah. And
So there
then,
was the foal in between us, and then so that was it. So I went off, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. What's going on here?
okay.
And then on day 4, the actual owner opened the door for me to go in because he could feel the energy vibration of going, you need to go into
Mm.
the stable and connect with the foal. She's allowing you in. And I went, oh my God. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because we have built a relationship. So I lay there, Eileen, on the hay with the foal, connecting with the foal and bringing it into coherence so it could actually heal and we could all heal together.
Mm.
And it's just my touch and the feel. And
Mm.
the foal survived. So that was my journey of going, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. I want to work with animals because
Yeah.
it just felt
Yeah.
easier. They were more open to the healing process. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, and so it started from there then. So for 2 years I worked with in a stable where with thoroughbreds.
Mm.
And that's where I actually met you was I went to a horse consciousness course up in Clare
Mm. Mm.
because I was guided again by somebody. Somebody said, knew me and kind of went, I think you should do this course, Noreen. And I'm going, right, okay, let's go. It's horses. I know nothing about them, but anyway, I'll go anyway and see what's the story. But it was very much on a horse consciousness of. So when I went there, I met all you beautiful people. You were all amazing. Oh my God, you had
Yeah.
so much knowledge about the horses. And I'm like going, oh my God. And I couldn't even ride the horse. Um,
Yeah, you were standing there and you had like I remember this course, I remember the day and I would be in like regular working attire for
yeah,
the horse riding or industry and I
yes.
think you were standing there with like a lovely red blazer and earrings and glasses and high heel boots on and you were just chill though. You weren't standing there, you weren't intimidated, but it was like it's gonna get covered in hair. I was there going, she looks so pretty. It didn't last. But that's what I do think. I think you still do kind of keep yourself like you're not slugging around in an anorak and wellies, we'll say.
No.
Yeah. And like that's fine. That's the way to do
Yeah.
it. You just have to be comfortable. But that was just very, very nice. That series was very nice. And I think then I used to run into you in random like public places or at conferences and stuff. And it'd be like we'd be walking past each other and like you just like ping, I'd see you. So
Yeah.
you just decided to lean more into the horse side of things, or was that, or as we say in the horsey space, you get dragged into it by them because they know better. So just let them kind of.
Yeah, the universe really pushed me to the limit because I felt the horses were my biggest fear, always, as a child, as you say, like that. But then when I was working with, in the stable, I remember my yoga teacher, she was here at the center and she said, you need to get your own horses, Noreen. And I went, are you kidding me? I am not getting any horse. I don't know anything about horses. To
uh,
minding them, or whatever.
yeah.
But when we bought Epona, we had bought 13 acres, but it came with the site. It didn't that we wanted 13 acres. We didn't, because we had it rented out to, local farmers or whatever. It just came with the site. Um, but I remember the universe again. See, I always believe we have to go with our gut feeling, right? So for me, when she put that idea into my head, I'm going, oh, what else is possible? What else is possible in that
Mm,
situation? And I'm kind
mm,
of going, okay, I'm here working, in the stables, kind of, yes, it's fine. But I knew that there was more to the horses than actually what was going on in the stables. I knew the horses were healing the person, but also I knew when I used to go there, they were reflecting the energy of the person, and
mm,
so I was kind of going, okay, so here I am, my ego was kind of going, yeah, it's great, I'm healing, helping other people to calm their horses down and helping them. But what about me? I knew there was a lot of work there to be done for me. And I knew the
yeah.
horses were actually, and that was why I was afraid of them, because they would mirror me too much and I would be afraid of myself.
Mm,
Because I knew in my own energy, I could create a lot of chaos or I could create a lot of love. Yeah. And coming from, a background where, yes, I was always in survival mode from a very young age, I was actually afraid of my own energy. I was actually afraid. So lo and behold, I remember when my yoga teacher said to me, you need to get your own horses. And they're going, well, where do I find a horse? I mean, do I go to Eileen? Eileen, can you get me a horse? And Eileen would get me a horse, no problem, right? Okay. But would it be the right horse? So I left it up to the universe again, and lo and behold, right across the road, literally, you drive out our gate. I tell people now when they come here, I say, look at that field across there. There where Lizzie was born, and Ruby the mom, and Lizzie was born across the road. And we used to go
No.
out. So Lizzie is a Palomino, so she's golden and blonde, and oh my God, amazing. And we used to drive out the gate every day, Eileen. My kids, when I used to drive them out to school in the morning, can you imagine, like on a morning, like this morning, the sun is shining down on top of them. I'm going, oh my God,
Green
it's magical.
field.
Look at her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's running around free and, and beautiful, beautiful relationship with mother and daughter. And I remember the guy approaching us then, he approached my husband and he said, would you like to buy Lizzie the Palomino? And my husband's looking going, we know nothing about horses, but Noreen works with horses, doesn't she? And then he decided to buy the horse. So he bought Lizzie. He brought her across the road with Ruby. And so that was my beginning going, oh my God, Martin, what are we going to do with them? What are we going to do? Um, yeah, so there was Lizzie, little foal,
Yeah.
sprite, giddy out. Ruby,
Mm.
Ruby was about 13 at the time. She was a beautiful energy. So he gave us a loan of Ruby, which
Yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah, well,
2 years.
the young horses until they get
Yeah.
mature. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, he gave her, she was here for 2 years. I had a beautiful relationship with Ruby. She was actually our mother, Lizzie and myself. She
Uh-huh.
I suppose I watched the body language of her as a mother, even though I was a mother myself, and I could see what she was doing to Lizzie, and teaching her. And I fell in love with Ruby. I didn't like Lizzie. Um, I didn't like her at all, actually. Yeah. She was too much of a reflection of me.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she used to bite me.
Oh.
Yeah, she used to bite me. Yeah, she used to corner me down the field. Yeah, this is how silly I was.
Oh.
I mean, I used to take the horses for a walk. I used to walk down the field with them. It's like a dog. And then I get
Like, yeah.
trapped down in the middle of the field going, I can't get back up because she won't allow me up. Right. So, and this was
Mm.
my fear, my biggest fear. So this was all about my boundaries, what I was learning. The biting was very much about my controlling. So coming from a family of 12, you know, um, I left home
Wow.
when I was 18 because I wanted my freedom. I didn't want to be controlled or anything, so here I am back, with two children and
Mm.
codependency, controlling, here me looking me in the face, and I didn't like it. So I had to, for the first 5 years with my horses, I sat in the field and I watched them. I watched them biting me. I watched them, creating chaos around me. And these were
Mm.
all my emotions coming to the surface. And my observation was that they were helping me, they were mirroring me. And I remember, so while I was doing all of this, I was teaching Reiki. I became a Reiki master, but it
Mm.
was it was Reiki for humans, not for animals. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
so because I was learning a lot about the animals. I wasn't confident enough yet because they were teaching me, and I wasn't confident enough about going out into the field with people or anything. Until one day I was invited to a Monty Roberts showcase up in Cavan.
Mm.
And the universe guided me up, and I'm there going, what am I going to see Monty Roberts? I have no interest in horsemanship. No interest at all,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So here I am going up to see Monty. Yeah, I'm meeting him and the whole lot.
Mm.
But what my teaching was there was I was invited in beforehand. Before Monty goes out into the crowd, he invites 50 people in beforehand, okay, into the
Mm.
arena. So I was there going, where am I going to sit? So I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch him coming in. I want to see what he does before he comes into the arena with these horses. I was very much kind of going, wow, this guy is 83 years of age. These horses are lunatics. I don't like the energy around that. I didn't come for that. I just came to
Mm.
see what he does. So I sat in a position where I could see him before he came into the arena. And what I observed was there he was outside doing his exercises, grounding his energy. And I thought, all right, okay, at 83, yes, he's doing his inner self work. And then he came out and he walked the arena. And he had somebody else in the cage with the horses. And he
Mm.
walked the arena all the way around about 3 or 4 times. And he was connecting with the energy of the people who were going to come into the arena after that, because he knew there was going to be negative and he knew there was going to be positive and excitement and everything. So he was connecting because he had to work with these quite strong horses who were, but also working with himself. So this observation was like going, okay, so he's grounding his energy and all of this. And then watching
Mm.
in the arena, and I thought when the others came in, it didn't interest me at all. I wasn't at all interested in what his horsemanship was, or, didn't. But I was
Mm.
fascinated when the horses went into total chaos, how the jockey or the girl that was up in it, how she stayed very calm. So when I was queuing up to get my autograph on his book, I was there, I started talking to her. And she told me that she has her heart rate at a coherent level. She has trained her heart to be at coherence. And they're going, how did you do that? Me kind of going, how do you do that? That's amazing.
Mm.
And she said she does meditation, but also she grounds herself before meeting the horses so that she can actually keep her body at that level all the time. And I went, yes, that's what I came to learn. So before going into the field with my own horses, I have to ground my energy and be vulnerable and ask the
Yeah.
questions. And that
Yeah.
was it. And that was the clue. That was like the jigsaw going, oh my God. So I had to be, and that's where I was attracted then to Tai Chi and Qigong, because I felt that energy was very grounding and it connected with me with the land. I was gathering all the energy with the land. I was gathering all my emotions before I went in to see the horses so that actually I could see them, I could see them mirroring me before I went in. And I'm going, okay, what do I need to learn from you today? What is my vulnerability today? What are my emotions? What am I feeling? Everything came up before I went in to see the horses in the field. And when I surrendered, Eileen, to all of this, I walked into the field and my horses came to me and we started total coherence and a total healing. And I went, oh, this is it.
Mm.
This is it. By me being vulnerable and connecting with myself. And also the big thing was for me was focus. And it was like being focused out in the land and gathering in the energy and watching the body language of them, because working with horses, they can just turn like that. But I was watching my own body language going, I can go into chaos in 2 seconds, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the turning point for me. And that was really where I started trusting myself around the horses. And that's where my relationship came in with Lizzie. But then Ruby was taken away from me after 2 years. and I was devastated. I was
Mm.
devastated because this was like, all my life, I just felt things that I loved and, trusted were taken away from me. And here she was again. I was there going, take Lizzie. I want Ruby.
Mm.
She's a mother figure. She was
Yeah.
going to help me to heal.
Yeah.
Took Ruby away for 5 weeks. And here I was with Lizzie here going, oh my God, what am I going to do with her? What am I going to do with her? And
She
he
was
came
a
back and
single,
yes,
she
and it
was
was
by
like,
herself.
yeah,
Yeah.
facing myself. I was looking at myself, really looking at Lizzie. I was looking at myself going, I don't love you. I don't love you at this stage in my life. I don't love myself. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, so after 5 weeks, he came back with Ruby and he said, did I want to buy her? And she was in foal
Yeah.
with Isabel.
Oh,
So
oh
this was
goodness.
all kind of going, oh my God, this is amazing. And they're going, Ruby's back again, but she's in foal. So here we are, another horse.
Another
Yeah.
another two horses, yeah.
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 So Ruby started communicating with me then. So I started opening up my communication, my ears, and
Mm.
listening to what the messages that were coming in. So Ruby told me that Isabel would be born on the 1st of June. And they all thought I was crazy, Eileen. They all thought, oh yeah, your one is crazy. The hula. And I was there the 1st of June. Yeah, she's there. And this is where I started opening up my intuition and listening to her and listening to my own body language and listening to the messages that were coming in for me. And lo and behold, on the 1st of June, got up 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a beautiful sunny morning. I got up first, 6 o'clock. I didn't realize again, because I didn't believe in myself that actually she would be born on the 1st of June because I thought it was all in my head. And there out in the field was this little black thing below. And I thought it was the dog. And next thing I went, oh my God, that's the foal. The foal is born. The foal was born.
Yeah.
And we had to ring the guy that sold us the horses to come and actually sort the foal out because we didn't know anything.
Just to
So we did. So
make
that's
sure.
where Isabel was
Yeah.
born.
Yeah.
And so,
No.
yes, so she came into my life for a reason to help me to connect with my spirituality. So she
Mm.
has guided me intuitively to connect with spirit guides here on the land and for help and for people to connect with spirits as well. And yeah, she was very, very powerful. Her messages are really, really strong. And I suppose, Eileen, working with horses, she was a foal. And my God, we used to have electric fences up and she would run through it if she needed to get through that fence. Nothing was going to stop her. And I'm looking going, she's only a
Yeah.
fool. And that's what she was teaching me is nothing can stop you from doing what you want, Noreen. And these come in my dreams, my messages when I go to bed at night.
Mm.
The horses would come in. I would connect with the eye of the horse, the communication with them, and they would guide me and reassure me because sometimes I go to bed at night going, I'm selling the horses. I can't work with them anymore. They're going to kill me, or
Yeah.
whatever. But when I would go into that dream, meditative state, they were there to help me, to reassure me. They were like my coaches and my mentors.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I used to listen to them, and then I go out into the field the following morning. I was like, it's never happened. And I'm going, oh my God. So that was something I needed to deal with, you know.
Yes.
So yeah. So that was kind of where then I started teaching animal Reiki because I wanted people to be able to communicate with the horses at a spiritual level. So
Mm.
they could actually, I suppose, communicate and heal, like just like I was doing, at a different level. Because I always find when we work with the animals, they have a higher vibration and they take us into that higher vibration as spiritual workers. And they will open up your intuition, they will open up your throat chakra, they will help you to heal. And I suppose for me, that was the journey of I had suffered from fibroids and I
Mm.
lived on the land. I had a thyroid gland, which was 28 millimeters within 6 months by me working here on the land and connecting. It had gone down to 10. So there was, what other issues had I? I had loads of other issues, hormones, and things like that, that I felt by connecting with myself, my inner self, they took me on the journey to actually heal within myself and reconnect with myself and to go back
Mm.
into that inner child to see where these energies have, or these emotions and feelings. And they've helped me to cope with these emotions and feelings. And I suppose for me then, Eileen, I decided over COVID, because as you say, you've nothing else to do over COVID, when you'd be here on the land. And I realized, oh my God, I would love to open a retreat here and have people
Yeah.
stay here. Because when you come into the vibration of the animals, you can feel it. You can feel it when you're sleeping. And that's what I felt is in my dreams, they just come to me. They were sleeping with me. And when I was in that state of subconscious, they were helping me to unravel all of those fears and everything from my childhood, probably, and going back to my ancestors. So this was something, my dream 16 years ago when I walked in the gate going, oh my God, I don't know,
Mm.
no, I don't know, will this happen? So I used to do little mini retreats here first, so day retreats, and have people
Mm-hmm.
come and taking people out into the field and, making them comfortable. So I learned all of that by connecting with my U3, grounding people, taking people out into the land, in groups. So I was getting confident, I was building up my confidence and going, yes, I can do this. I can do this. So yeah, so during COVID, I decided, yeah, my eldest son was going to college and I had a room downstairs I could put the other guy into, and I did up my 3 rooms upstairs. Got an amazing interior designer out, who's a friend of mine. She came out and helped me to redesign it. Got amazing people to come and paint it and put beautiful curtains in. It was all happening quite fast, Eileen, for me. I was there going,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is too fast. It's COVID. Nothing should be happening here. And I'm
Yeah.
going, oh, the universe is sending it in, going, oh my God, oh my God. And then it was like time for opening the retreat then. So I had 5 spaces. And I remember about 2 months beforehand, because I was feeling the energy going, oh my God, Noreen, everything has to be perfect because this was my life, right? Okay, they're coming into my house with my children, my husband, my dogs, the horses. I felt, oh my God, they're
Mm.
judge me. They're all going to, oh my God, Noreen has to be perfect. Everything has to be so, perfect. And I'm
Yeah.
going, the rooms are perfect, everything's perfect, but oh my God, they're coming into my space. I have a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old and 2 boys and a husband. And I'm going, oh my God. So the judgment started coming in. Oh my God. I was like I'm freaking out. And what had happened to me was
Mm.
that my whole body went into blisters. I literally
Wow.
came out in blisters from here, didn't get the face, here down to my toes. My legs, my back was destroyed. Every part of my body was just like, I was just like somebody, like, and it was hot weather outside. I remember going to the doctor and she told me I had a heat rash. And I'm going, come here, we're in Ireland. This doesn't happen. Heat rash in Ireland.
A
It's
heat
like
rush.
20 degrees. No, probably. It was probably 22 at the time. And
Mm.
so I went to my mentor and I got a healing session done, and it was all about my perfection. I was letting go of the perfection. And I had
Mm.
to let go of the judgment even though I thought I had, working with the horses because, they don't judge you. But my fear was that people would come into my space and judge me and judge my family, and it wouldn't be perfect,
Mm.
Eileen. So that was a big,
Mm.
big thing for me to overcome. And I did. I had my first retreat a month later. I healed my body, got myself into the Mater Hospital here, got a drip in, and started healing my body and letting go of the perfection and going, okay, I'm going to have, tell people I have my flaws. I'm not perfect, and it was amazing. That weekend, my first retreat, the weather was 30 degrees here in Ireland. That was 2.5 years ago. And I'm going, oh my God, we had to find trees to go under, which we were lucky, we had loads of trees. And all we could hear, and it was amazing. So I had 5 women here at my first retreat.
Mm.
We had a ball. The weather was amazing. It was like being, yeah, in wherever, Ireland when the sun is shining. It's absolutely amazing. And
Wonderful
out with the
place, yeah.
horses. So that was the start of my retreat journey. And then, as you said, I'm doing it for the last 2.5 years now,
Mm.
doing the inner child work. I've been doing that for two
Mm.
and a half years, but it's doing the inner child in myself as well. It's my self-healing as well. And every retreat, I am actually healing. I attract the people into the retreat that what's going on with me at that moment in time. And
Yeah,
that's what attracts people in, is because I'm going through that process as well, so, and
yeah.
we go out with the horses, yeah, weekend retreats. So it's great.
You have strategically figured out how to get paid to heal yourself by just having people come. Like that's the that's the
Yeah.
that's
And
the
I
thing about
suppose,
leading
Eileen, I was
retreats.
drawn for
Yeah.
people to come here because I wanted them to sleep over and feel the vibration, of the land and the horses
Mm.
and me as well. And to go inside, go deep inside and reflect. And it's really interesting because I get people who have no experience of horses. They are the best
Mm.
people. But it's people with the horsemanship. They are, what I
Yeah.
find is they know the dangers out in the field. They know what
Hmm.
could happen. And even though I know as well, but because I grounded you so well into the vibration, but there's still always that doubt in a horsemanship going, okay, the horse could bolt, but also because it's afraid. I suppose it's because a horsemanship it's kind of in a controlled environment as well, a behavior, so
Mm.
I don't work on that. I just work on more the sensory and the feelings as
Mm.
opposed to the
So you're
controlling
not
and
talking about
behavior
like
of a horse.
a
Yeah.
method or a modality or a specific thing. It's just
Yeah.
teaching people to tune into the situation they're in, you know.
Yes.
And like that's the one thing with horses, and that's why I like the horse retreats, is like a horse will stand there and like 3 people, 4 people will look at the horse and have different scenarios that are about to occur. And that's just like with a person. Like, is the
Mhm.
person about to like sit down or run or jump or speak or, but it's like you're not teaching a singular kind of method. It's tuning into the energy of where you presently are, which is
Yeah.
like that's fantastic.
Yes.
Um, how I suppose one question I think is that I find I want to ask is so you're running retreats and you have people on those retreats. And where do you find them? Or how do you like I asked this Noreen this question, how do you market your retreat? Noreen is like, you don't. But go on,
You
tell me
know,
more.
I a lot of it at the beginning was kind of people who have been here before, knew me, have
Hmm.
been here kind of. I used to kind of day retreats, or I do meditations, evening meditations, and they had come and and it was kind of word of mouth of people coming. Um, but I have been doing it on Facebook. I have a private Facebook where I do a lot of writing, even though writing was always my biggest fear as well, right? Because I didn't feel I was good
Mm.
enough at writing. Um, and I write an awful lot on my Facebook groups. I write my feelings, what's coming up. I know when people are kind of, when I have mentors, they'd say, oh, schedule your writing for the week. And I'm going, well, I don't know what's going to happen to me on Tuesday. I can't do that. I have to
Mm.
write when I get up on a Tuesday morning, I look out my window and I look at my horses, or I look at, the land, if the sun is shining or if it's raining, and I feel into that emotion, what I'm feeling that day. And then I will sit here and I will write about what is going on with me and how I can actually feel that vulnerability and surrender to it. So that's my writing every day, or, my
Mm.
journaling. So I put it up on my pages and I do my writing. So for me, it's kind of more people are trusting, they see me on Facebook, but I mightn't have somebody that mightn't come from, following me for a year. And then when they come here, they go, oh, I've been following you. And I went, oh, really? I haven't seen you on my thing. Oh, yeah, I've been following you
Mm.
for years. And I'm going, but it's a trust thing, Eileen. And I
Mm.
suppose that's where I come from, and it's allowing people to see, that they can trust me, because that's one big thing that I wanted in my life when I was on my journey, is for people to come into my life that I could trust, even though I've experiences where, people have come in and I haven't trusted, or probably I haven't trusted myself around them, and I've let them go. And we learn
Mm.
from that experience, and that's how, we grow, isn't it? By learning. So yeah, so through Facebook, I do a lot, and word of mouth. People come here. I get a lot of reviews, so it's nice. I ask people for reviews. I didn't at the beginning because I was afraid, kind of going, oh God, I can't be asking for reviews. But I
Yeah.
now my mindset has switched, in the sense that I want to share what I have here. I'm not afraid of sharing anymore of what I have. And so by me asking people to write reviews, is they are very willing to write, because it has helped them to change and transform.
Mm.
So why wouldn't they share it with other people? So yeah, and I go on LinkedIn, and as you said, I network an awful lot. I talk an awful lot. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
basically how I do it. I keep it simple, and that's the way I want my life to be. And
Okay.
because I have
Love
come
it.
from a place where I wanted everything to be perfect, and everything has to be flowing, and everything has to be, oh, driven, 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 And I suppose that's where society kind of caught up with me. I kind of had to be where everybody else was, and comparing myself, and
Mm.
but every day, yeah, I look up and I'm very content with my life, and I'm kind of going, whoever arrives at my gate, they are meant to be here. And if it's only one
Mm.
person, then let it be one person. Let it be five. I only do five at my retreat, or anything I do. Actually, when I'm doing my animal Reiki or anything, I like to keep the group small, because I like to be able to connect with
Okay.
people. I big groups. I've tried
Mm.
them. Um, yeah, I just don't connect as much as if it was a small group, and I want the people to come here and feel the connection. I want them to walk
Mm.
away with an experience, as opposed to just coming
Mm.
and going, okay, God, there was whatever 20 people here and I was ignored, or Noreen didn't see me or whatever. I like people to come and to feel the love and to feel the light from the land and from me and from the horses. We're all at one. Yeah. So.
And I have I have two questions, and I feel like kind of the first one I'm going to ask, even though I feel like it's been answered already. And what was the Well, I suppose I can make it a bit more specific then. What was the most challenging thing you've had to overcome in say the last 2.5 years of having this whole like retreats business? Because there's a lot more of a demand, even though horses themselves are demanding. Um, the business is kind of a separate entity that becomes part of your life when you set it up. And what has been, say, the most challenging part of handling the business for you? Or yeah,
Yeah. For
or
me,
has it? Yeah.
no, it would be really the social media side of it all, or
Okay.
getting myself out
Yeah.
there,
Hmm.
because there is always that judgment, and how do I find the right people to come here? And it's sitting down and kind of going, oh God, where am I going to find people to come to my
Hmm.
retreats? How am I going to fill them? And and all of that. And I'm not, take me out. I'll take you out into the field. I will do anything you want, right? But it's like at the beginning, it was
Don't.
like
Yeah.
promoting myself and, oh God, even coming on this podcast, if you told me 2.5 years ago, I would have probably come out in blisters again going, oh my God, Noreen, it has to be perfect. So yeah, the challenging
Don't
thing
make
was,
me sit there
yeah,
at the computer. Don't make me have to. Yeah.
yeah,
Don't make me
yeah.
do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just put me sitting out in the field and sit there for hours, and I could do that,
Mm.
no problem, and
Hmm.
do all of that. But it's more sitting in here and sharing my story and sharing, my beliefs out, and I suppose it's just being afraid of being judged by. And then also, I
Mm.
suppose the challenging thing is comparing myself to other people. At the beginning was like going, oh God, what if I don't fill my retreats? And oh, I'm going to be useless. And it's not going to work for me, even though deep down inside me, the universe has told me this is what has to be done. But there
Hmm.
is always a resistance there, isn't it? Because deep down, sometimes the inner child comes up going, I don't deserve this, and I don't deserve all of this, to be
Mm.
happy, successful, and to let that go. It's like going, yeah, yeah. So that has been quite challenging for me. It's, yeah, kind of, is this right for me? I know it is because I love it. It's easy.
Mm.
I don't mean easy, it's very challenging for the whole weekend. I'm on total coherence the whole weekend, and I take time off afterwards. But for me, people say, you work. This is my work. I love it, so it doesn't feel like work for me. And that's sometimes
Yeah.
the challenge as well, Eileen, is about pricing and things like that, because my valuing. Do I
Hmm.
value myself enough what I'm giving? Because there is always that doubt in the back. Am I not giving enough? Even though I probably overgive. So that's challenging as well. It's like kind of going, okay, yeah.
Mm.
Am I giving too
Yeah.
much? Am I not giving enough? Or it's just always that self-doubt, and I think everybody
Mhm.
goes through that, well, I do anyway.
Yeah. 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 And it's something that just doing it and finding out and over time, as you've
Yes.
been doing for the past 2.5 years now, nearly or
Oh, yeah.
more,
Yeah.
just finding out. And like the rest of us, we all kind of, you'll just keep doing it until you come to the point where you know you need to change it, whether it's a
Yes.
pricing or a social media aspect, something changes.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just, it's like the other question, if you don't mind me asking, is because I feel like everybody that's listened to you talking will have gotten something out of it, can relate, like I can relate to so many things. But what piece of advice would you have to give to someone who's kind of in your position where they're running a retreat? And like, I have a feeling the podcast is going to be reaching out to people who enjoy horses and enjoy healing and enjoy and do everything. But um, what piece of advice would you Like, what's the most valuable thing you learned, or what insight? Or I'd love to hear.
I suppose for me is, I suppose mentorship as well is very important for me to keep me,
Mm,
focused. But I think for me, mostly is to go stop comparing myself to other people,
mm,
because I suppose, in this industry or in this, retreat business, for me, it's all about being authentic and being who I am. I can't be somebody else. I see, and I know on social media there's all, oh, film my retreats and doing, and it's amazing. We're going, and I'm getting going, oh my God, oh my God, they're all doing amazing work. But
mm,
then when you kind of meet them, down to earth, they're kind of going, they're struggling too. Everybody is struggling.
mm,
I think that's where we get caught up in, the social media and everything is, everybody's life is just wonderful. It isn't. We're all struggling, like as I said to you, my challenges are, my social media getting people here. But when
mm,
I surrender and let go, the people flow, and I suppose that's the thing, is to keep
mm,
going and keep doing it, but also stop comparing yourself to everybody else and just be your best self, be your best self. Um, and I just felt that in the last, say, year, when I have let go of, oh my God, am I going to fill it or not? Then that's when the people actually start flowing in the gate. And I'm going, wow,
yeah, yeah,
I've let go of the fear of actually not filling the retreats. And sometimes I don't fill them all up. And
mm,
and the right people are there with me to actually do it. And that's, and if I can change their lives, then
mm,
that's my job done, you know? So
mm,
yeah, so just be mindful of, your energy, what it's all about, really, I think.
mm.
Because we can get caught up in the business side of it, as well as, but as you said, yes,
Yeah,
we're into, we have to make
y-
it viable to open up the retreat. Yeah.
yeah.
And
But you get
sometimes,
kind of, yeah,
yeah. And I think sometimes it's nice for change, because I have, 2.5 years I've been doing the inner child. Now I think it's time for a different retreat for me to do,
okay. That was
and
my question for you.
yeah.
My last question, or my next question, was wherever we go, is I go, what's next for Noreen and Epona? You have these, yeah, what would you like to happen, or what's in the works? You've got something new planned, have you?
Yes, I have. I've got a new retreat coming up. Well, it's a winter retreat coming up in November. And what I
Mm,
would love, so I've been doing Rediscover Your Inner Child for the last 2.5 years, but now I want it to be all about playfulness and fun, and deserving that fun, and and reconnecting with yourself on a different level, saying you deserve everything that's coming into your life, and to bring that playfulness in. So yeah, so my retreat, my winter retreat is all about, I'm
mm,
hiring a jacuzzi in just to see if it'll work for me, because our sunsets here are just amazing, and just bringing that energy in and having more fun around working with the horses, meditation, because
mm,
that's where I feel I am in my life at the moment now, is going, us women, we need to lighten up and actually have a bit of fun, even though we're working, doing the work, but we
mm-hmm,
deserve, for all the inner work we do, we deserve a bit of fun. We deserve to be, have fun. And I've got a new dog. She has just brought in so much more light in. I got a beautiful white retriever. She's yeah, she's gorgeous. But it's all about that, childhood fun, and Yeah, and that's where I
Mm.
am now at my life. For my retreats are going to be, yeah, we're still doing the work. We're still doing the work,
Mm.
but having fun around it as well. Because sometimes when we're doing this work, it can become very heavy, but we need to bring the lightness
Yeah.
in as well, you know. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's where I am now. And yeah, so having, yeah, dance and yeah, and me
Mm.
collaborating as well. I feel I would like to collaborate more
Okay.
with other retreat
Yeah.
facilitators. I'm having a day retreat coming up in October with two other ladies. I haven't kind of advertised it yet because it's still in my head, and they're going, the universe is
Oh,
telling me you
yeah.
have to do it, you have to do it. It's just a day
Mm.
retreat. I have a lady coming from Aberdeen, which I work online, so I do an awful lot online as well.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful energy. She does EFT, which I feel people would love.
Mm.
And
So that's at the center the day you're bringing people to the horses. Oh, cool.
yes,
Very
and then
interesting.
some yoga,
Interesting.
some yin feminine energy yoga, and me then
Mm.
with the horses as well. And it's just bringing it all, collaborating it all together, and just having a bit of fun, really, and food and things like that. And I like to do that. Um, yeah, it's just kind of
Mm.
say to people, you know, and we divide it up then, you know, as you said, it's a win-win for all of us, the three of us. Yeah. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just
And
sharing
yeah.
our gifts
Yeah.
again with, you know, people, showing them there's different modalities out there, you know, different, you know, the FT is amazing, you know, working with the horses is amazing, yoga, you know, all of that, and Qigong and Tai Chi, and just
Mm.
educating people really around where we're living, our environment. I found, like, after being here 16 years, has changed my whole world. And I think it's making people more aware of where they're living, you know,
Mm.
what sources they have around them, their nature, you know, if there's parks. I mean, I go to the park and I sit under a tree, you know, or I walk around trees to get the vibration, so it'll bring my energy up. You know, and we need that. So it's just more educating people. If you are feeling low, or if you are feeling, you know, the world is against you, there is easy ways
Mm.
of going out there, you know, lie in a field. That's what I say. Look up at the sky.
So
Yeah.
if and with that, I was going to say, most people can find a tree to lie under, hopefully in the world. But if they can't, or if they want more than just lying under a tree, where do they find you? You mentioned you have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. What are they called?
It's Eponaretreatcentre.
Eponaretreatcentre.
Yeah.
And you have a website as well where
Yes.
people can like
Yes, it's
literally
eponaretreats.com. Yeah.
Eponaretreats.com. I will
Yeah.
put them in the video description or wherever they need to be because hopefully you'll find a tree and you'll understand what Noreen is talking about. And then she has all the offerings that you need. Just jump in. If you're as excited as I am about the what she's been talking about, if horses are your jam, um, that is where you'll find the information about her. I just wanted to make sure I said that because sometimes we don't we have our conversation, we forget. And I think there are probably a few people out here that are out in the world that are interested in what you're talking about for sure. And any final pieces of juicy delight you want to share
Well,
before
no,
we finish up?
I just want to say, Eileen, thank you for the opportunity of coming on and speaking with you. As you said, I have been in contact with you for years, and I know on my journey, at the beginning of my journey, I met you, which was lovely up in Clare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel, you know what, if it's something you desire, just go for it. The universe will guide you. And as you said, there will be
Yeah.
resistance with all of us. There's resistance with all. We'll all resist. But it'll just keep pulling at you, and you will surrender at the end of the day. Yeah. Yeah. But also to come
It's
out of
a
your comfort zone. It's about coming out
yeah.
of your comfort zone. And I think we all have to do that. And that was one of the things, because I just said to you at the beginning, I hadn't a clue. Business, nothing, you know, I wasn't even in my
Mm,
own power, you know,
mm,
but it's all a learning. And you know what? it has been a lovely journey, even though it was difficult. It has been a lovely journey.